IPMNation.com.
Counterpunch Media Live in 3, 2, 1.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to Mortal Up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome, and thank you for stopping by what is now the 446th episode. Get out of here. Who'd have thunk it? The 446th episode of the #1 rated All Natural Being right here on IPMNation.com. If you're listening to the audio, if you're taking in the live video, then you know you're here on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. And, of course, it's the home of the gong heard around the world. We like to think of our little morning soiree as your snooze alarm's sworn enemy. Radio that sparks your smart broadcasts to build your strong and unleash your legendary, because make no mistake, if you're still here, we believe you have a legendary to let loose. So to that end, we're serving up the best thoughts in the history of thinking. What do you think about that? So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up and crush your critics all at the same time. I love it. So let's hop right into it this morning. We got a lot going on. Let's get ready to go in and kick in some doors. Hope you're having a fantastic day already, whatever you are up to. Let me jump in the thread real quick and say hello and good morning to Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you as well. Kathy, nice to see you up bright and early, at least here on the East Coast, or maybe if you're in Central or the Mountain Time zones. I know it's bright and early, so thank you all for joining us this morning right out of the box. All right, so let's take a look at this. What do we got? What's on? Let's say here's the on the docket.
On the docket for this morning, life certainly is an uphill battle when you let your mind's eye become the ultimate enemy. So knock it off.
All right, so let's not do that. Let's not have our mind's eye become the ultimate enemy. Don't forget this morning, Kathy, thank you very much. Good morning to you as well. Don't forget, you can hit us up here, 833-MIND-UPS. It's a toll-free call, 833-646-3877. Also, you can text us, and here's the deal. I'm supposed to say this little thing that says, standard data rates may apply. If you get a bill from your phone company, just let me know, and I'll bang that out to you so that you have. I mean, how many people could actually be texting in while the show's live? It's not like I'm hoping it's not going to bankrupt me. All right, but if you want to send us a text, you're thinking, I don't know where I'm going to come up with that nickel, I'll send you the nickel. Also up on the screen right now, our QR code, if you're out and about, getting ready to head out the door, whatever time of day it is, hit the QR code. It will bring us right up. Kathy says she's in Ohio. Well, Kathy, I'm glad to hear it. So it's a kind of like early, 7 a.m. Nice to know that. You can hit the QR code as you get ready to get out the door, and you don't have to miss 1 minute of the live show. Of course, if you're listening on demand, then you know we're over on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, the whole shooting match. And we're into, what is this, day 3 or day 4 of our up in 30 guarantee. That means as soon as we're out of here, we work very, 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 very hard, which is just me learning the technology. But nonetheless, we're working hard to get our show up in 30 minutes. So if if the snooze alarm wins this particular battle and you're like, hey, I don't know, I didn't make it this morning, then you can hit us up for the on-demand live show, if you will, right at the top of the hour. Oh, and I'm also very excited this morning. Don't let me forget to do the Mortal Up signage. We'll be talking a little bit about that as the morning wears on. But we have our new sign, which is going to be a part of our mortalup.com campaign. I'll tell you all about that, how that's going to be working out here in the days and weeks ahead. So let's do this. Let's get the Lowlifes making headlines. We've got that queued up. All right. Let's get the Lowlifes making headlines this morning so we can clear this, get it like something stuck in your teeth and you're thinking, oh, I need some dental floss. I need to be able to get that out. Something just on my chest. I want to get it off. It's a monkey. I want to get rid of it before I start my day. So let's do this right now. Let's head over, take in a Lowlifes making headlines, and this morning's I'm fired up for this.
Hot heads wrapped in thin skin covering brittle brains atop balsa wood spines. It's time for Lowlifes making headlines.
Yes, it is. It's time for Lowlifes making headlines. And here's the thing. I put up this morning over on Twitter and Facebook and anywhere else that would have me. Chances of me voting for Joe Biden are slim to none, right? I just, he's up there in years. It's time to move along. And if nothing else, here's the thing. You want to know, what do you have against Joe Biden? The comb over. If you're bald, right, or if you have scars, you have whatever, just embrace it. But you don't have like 1/8 of a patch of hair that's 37 inches long and you swirl it around on the top of your head. If your sense of self-esteem is so much that you think the comb over is a good idea, I just don't want you being president of the United States. Sue me. What do you want? But our Lowlifes making headlines this morning, it's not Joe Biden. It's all the people with this, and I'll call it anti-human, right? But all of this nuts going on now where people are going to attack your all-natural being. Now, I have to say, if they come up with someone that says, oh, well, Joe did the bump and grind from behind, I wasn't expecting it, and this and that, and he, then I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe there's something with Uncle Joe, crazy old Uncle Joe, and maybe that disqualifies him. But do we really want to live in a world where you don't hug people, you don't kiss them on the forehead, on the top? I mean, I think about the number of times, people say, well, would you do it to a guy? Of course I would. I hug guys all the time. And I know I've shared the story with you before. Karen, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on All Natural Being. I know I've told you the story before where I went to hold the door for a woman, and she looked at me, shot me a really dirty look, and said, "That's okay, pal. I can get my own door." So I stepped ahead of her, shut the door in her face, then, letting her be able to get her own door then. But this whole thing, this whole hysteria where, do we want to live in a society where people can't high-five each other? And Nancy Pelosi, like, I don't understand why anyone would want to hug her, but that's right. That's up to you. That's all I'm saying. It's up to you. She says, oh, I treat everyone like I've got a cold. I treat them at, I focus on addressing them at arm's length. Is that the society we want to live in? Is that society where everybody and their brother is so sensitive? Look, and maybe a part of this comes from me, from my early experience of my unrequested slap and tickle with a priest. So all the people that are screaming they've been sexually assaulted, I'm tired of hearing about it. I know what sexual assault is. If someone kisses you on the top of your head, it's not sexual assault. So knock it off. And what you're doing is you're belittling people that have really been sexually assaulted. You're belittling them. How about this poor college student that gets in an Uber car and they find her dead a couple of hours later in a farm field? All right? So there are people that are really aggrieved. There are people that are really sexually assaulted. There are people that are really raped, right? And but for this whole culture to go, well, Uncle Joe, he hugged one too many people. He kissed too many people. He did this or did that. And again, you've got something where it's a little more violent, a little more oppressive, let's just say. Oh, but he made me very uncomfortable. I don't want to live in a society. Look, if you see me out and about running around, Kathy, you're here in, Kathy says, I'm a hugger. Kathy's here in Ohio. Kathy, I hope if you see me out and about running around, as I'll say the same to Jennifer, I'll say the same to Karen. But Karen, here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. I'd say the same thing to Shane. I hope if you guys bump into me in public, the first thing we exchange is a hug. Do we want to live in a society? Do we want to teach our kids that we should grow up at arm's distance from each other? Right? This whole anti-human mashugana, this whole anti-human hysteria, where they go, oh, he's going to be disqualified. No, the comb-over disqualifies him. Some of his political opinions, in my estimation, disqualify him. The fact that he's, what's he like, 94, 95, 97 years old now, that should disqualify him. I'd like to think that the president of any country is awake during some of the staff meetings, not nodding off because, his Mapo wasn't the right temperature early in the morning, so he didn't get all of his carbs. So there are all kinds of reasons to want to disqualify people from holding public office in any country that you live in. Right? I'm simply saying, do we want to live in a society? All these people line up, oh, it disqualifies him. Oh, well, this me too, whatever. You take it away from people that are really, and that's the whole thing about, I think for me at least, that's the whole thing about it, where you're drawing attention from people that are really hurt, the people that were really, really sexually assaulted. And kissing someone on the top of the head is not a sexual assault. I don't care what any of the brainiacs in the Me Too movement have to say. And if you like it, you want to challenge me, you want to debate me, you want to verbally smack me around a little bit, then just call in, you dimwit. Let me put the number up on the screen in case you happen to be listening. 833-646-3877. Of course, it's toll-free, although I mean, even for you, it's toll-free if you want to argue with me on this. 833-MIND-UPS, just like push-ups, sit-ups, or pull-ups. Give me a call. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, and also here in the thread, if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear about it. Just to give me an idea of what you're thinking along this topic. But Joe Biden disqualified for a handful of reasons in my book, as I've said. Now, one of them is not the naked swimming. I got to tell you, I've jumped into a pool a time or two without my, So that doesn't disqualify him, right? I don't think. But this whole thing where they're going to railroad him out of town now because he acts like a granddad. He acts like an elder, someone that's just trying to show you that he cares or compassionate. Now, I don't know Joe Biden. I've never met him. I don't know what's in his mind. Maybe he is the bad guy that everyone says. But this morning's Lowlifes making headlines are the people, this constant anti-all-natural being, this constant anti-humanity. Right? This constant, we wouldn't have survived if we didn't know how to hug each other. That's that. All right. So our Lowlifes making headlines this morning. Anyone that's given Uncle Joe a hard time. All right. I want to jump into this. Oh, so I also made mention of the fact to Matt that I would talk to you quickly about this. A week from this coming Saturday, so that'll make it April 13th. It's 13 on the 13th. It's IPM Nation's International Block Party, all to support the backing, if you will, of Brian's Brain Trust. Thank you so much for everyone that's most notably that's contributed. But not just in terms of making a financial contribution. Over 400 people have shared the story of what we're going through. And as I said to Lee Rowley yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, the amnesia is the toughest part, I got to tell you. As I said to Lee Rowley yesterday, I'm really looking forward to this. Lee's got his time slot already. Oh, there he is. Hey, good morning, Lee. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. So it'll be from 11 a.m. till midnight Eastern time on April 13th. I'm told that's the weekend before Easter, if that's something that's on your calendar. Looking forward to having all the different hosts from IPM Nation and all the different people that are going to be calling in. I just wanted to make mention of that. Make sure to put it on your schedule if you can. Also, good morning to Kathy. Kathy, thank you for watching us here. Thank you for watching us here at All Natural Being. All right, so here's something else I'm really excited about. If you want to know, what did you and Lee talk about at lunch? Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, but if you're thinking, what did you talk about? So here it is. Here's a drum roll. Now, this isn't, I want you to know, right? Before I do this, I could have just put it up on the screen, but this is real. Right? So that you can actually, now I'm sorry for the people listening on radio, you're not going to be able to see it, but just know here's the big reveal. Ready? We could do a drum roll. You know what? It'll take me forever to find the drum roll. Oh, maybe it won't. Look at that. Didn't take me forever. But now we have the official mortalup.com road signs, street signs. What is this going to allow me to do? I'm going to be like one of those guys at a subway dancing around on a street corner, because everyone says, oh, well, the days of marketing on the internet are over, and boy, they ought to be, right? But all I'm saying is, how about a little grassroots marketing? How about a little commando marketing? Morning, it'll be a blast. Thank you, Lee, very much. So Lee has agreed to come and videotape me so that we can make it both like a street campaign, right? A street campaign and a viral campaign where we're drawing attention to the fact that we're going to be doing a morning show, drawing attention to the IPM Nation International Block Party. So I'm very excited because I've always wanted to be. I will tell you, ever since my days when shortly after I resigned from the police department, I dig it too. Thank you, brother, very much. Shortly after my days from the police department, I resigned and drove as far as I could. And I've said before that if I could have driven to Japan, I would be culturally appropriating the people of Japan now. I think it's Konnichiwa, right? Whatever that is. So please, if you're offended by that, please share this around on social media. If you're offended by the fact that I said Konnichiwa, yeah, please. Yeah, right. Boy, you could fix my wagon. But you'll really be able to smack me around. I'll just share this show right on Twitter. I'll make sure everyone listens to this show over on YouTube. Oh, would you? Jeez, right? Yeah, well, that'll hurt. Oh, knife in the back. Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. Konnichiwa. So I would have driven all the way to Japan, China, maybe Europe, right? Maybe I would have gone all the way to Ireland. I'd like to see Ireland, maybe Scotland. But I would have driven all the way to try to get away from some of the guilt I felt about my father's suicide. Well, I made it as far as Venice Beach, California, as one would, right? So I'm on Venice Beach, and I'm just loving the street vendors. Let me know if you've seen them. Give me a call, 833-646-3877. It's toll-free, 833-MINDUPS. But the guy dressed in white on rollerblades with the turban playing the guitar, and he rollerblade up and down the boardwalk in Venice Beach. I think maybe that's where I got hooked on it. I think maybe that's where I started to think this whole street vendor thing would be a good idea. Now, and I don't know, Kathy, you'll have to let me know. You're probably more up on the laws here in the state of Ohio where I live. So I was talking to Lee. Are you allowed to carry a sign anymore? Who knows? You're not allowed to hug anybody. Can you carry a sign, right? Right? Can you carry a sign with something on it? Can you stand on a street corner and carry a sign? Well, right? Who knows? So here's what I did, just to keep the police from harassing me a second time. Not saying that they will, but in case they do, and Lee's already trained, keep the camera rolling, right? Just keep it rolling, because how great is that video going to be? I'm sorry, sir, you're not allowed to stand on a street corner with your sign. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So that's just going to be great. Are you going to be rollerblading? Yeah, you know what, Kathy? Here's the thing. I'd like to be able to tell you that I'm a world-class hockey/rollerblader, ice skating guy/rollerblader, and that the doctors have said, don't slip and fall and hit your head. Don't risk it. But I stink at rollerblading. No, I won't be rollerblading, but if you think, yes, they do it. Now, yes, they do what? Yes, police arrest you if you stand on a street corner with a sign, or yes, it's okay to do it. So, Kathy, if you happen to know, I would appreciate it. That would be great. But as far as rollerblading, yeah, I'm a menace just walking down the street on regular feet. You know what I mean, Kathy? If I had to try to do this with rollerblades, although Lee, not a bad idea. All right, get some video of that. That'll go. Yes, they do it. Hold signs. Okay, cool. So Kathy says I can hold the sign. So what I did was I got 4 of these printed up, thinking, because it could be tiring just standing out on a street corner holding a sign, right? So I got it so that front and back, no matter which way I'm holding the sign, you'll see mortalup.com, another shameless plug. But then I also got another set of 2, and I'm going to put like a harness, I don't know, more like a leather strap maybe, I don't know. But I'm going to, like a sandwich boards, and I'm just going to go, because they say, oh, you got to get some walking in. I'm going to walk up and down the street with my mortalup.com signs, front and back. So whether you see me standing on a street corner holding a sign, right, as cars go by, or you say, who is that nut? You're not going to be that far off. Who is that nut walking around the streets of Columbus and all these other places. Who is that nut walking around? You'll go, oh, I know that nut. It's Brian. So that's how we're gonna do it. Lee says I've never been on rollerblades, but I'm down. Well, here's the thing, Lee. We better shoot this video with a disposable camera, because if both the focus and the cameraman have never been on rollerblades, I'm sure. I mean, how hysterical would that be, right? But I'd have to have the signs. I'd have to use the shoulder harnesses for those signs, because I'll be using my hands. Just, it'd be like I'm surfing down the street. But that's not a bad idea, Kathy. I'd have to wear a helmet, right? Right? I'm doing this little bit with the mortal upside, and I slip and fall, hit my head. 10-7, he's gone. Send condolences here or there, right? So I'll have to think of something else there. Good morning, Loretta. Loretta, thank you so very much for joining us. It's nice to see you, as always. Nice to see your icon pop up. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. We're just talking about a little bit of the marketing that we're going to do, some of the other things that we're getting ready to do as I prepare. And I've got some good news. Let's do this, and then let me just do this, and then we'll jump right back in. I'll tell you a little bit of what we got going on. The good news of yesterday, right? I'll share that with you here in just a bit. Let's do this.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
On IPMNation.com, The Bride.
Oh, and this is one I wanted to play for you yesterday. And we didn't get around to it. I don't know why. Let's try this one.
You're listening to All Natural Being, radio that sparks your smart.
There you go. You're listening to All Natural Being, radio that sparks your smart. Oh, and I'm also very excited. A good friend of mine is coming over this morning. Now, he is a professional sound engineer. So if you're thinking, hey, you need some help, boy, don't you know it. But he's coming over this morning. We're going to dial in some more things here in the studio. So we're very excited about that as well. Kathy says, I tried and immediately went down. It is not like roller skating. Oh, well, interesting, right? Because at least roller skating, Kathy, if I remember, there's 4 wheels, right? So at least the left to right is handled. I still want one of those big windsock people to wheel around. Do we have a generator? Sure, we'll make it work, Lee. I'll get a windsock. Well, here's the thing. Lee knows everything about, and I got to talk to you about some more bumper stickers, Lee, if you could remind me later. Lee knows everything about that kind of thing. So that would be cool to have a generator and a windsock. Now, I don't know, Kathy, maybe the police would go, Brian, look, you can stand on the street corner, but really a windsock and a generator, some of those Hollywood searchlights, really, you're going to need a permit for that. So I don't know, but we will check on it to make sure that that's going to be okay. Just to recap briefly this morning. Oh, and then I'll get to the news from the day, the good, the call, the letter, the this and that and everything else. And I'm like, oh, really? Now you think it's a problem to you? But what was I talking about? Does anyone know? Oh, yeah. What we're going to do is, I had no clue what I was going to talk about. All right, never mind. So let's jump right into it. So we found out that one of the downsides, and you'd think, you know what, I would have been on top of this, but it's me. One of the downsides of having a spinal fluid leak is that if you're leaking out, right? Nature abhors a vacuum, as we know. If you're leaking out, then at the same time, or when you're done with a little drip, air makes it through that hole. So I realized yesterday, I go, why were they so excited? Why? Even the insurance company's like, oh, no, please, no waiting. Just come right in. Do you need a table? Right? Come right ahead. As a maitre d', the insurance company was like, oh, no, please come right ahead. And lo and behold, do some research, talk to some of the doctors and everything else. And they're like, yeah, Brian, your brain isn't digging the oxygen seeping in. Your brain isn't digging the fact that, right, meningitis could seep in, that this couldn't seep in, that couldn't seep in. So the insurance company was like, well, heck yeah, we got to get him in here, get him under the bone Dremel, and make sure that they're able to plug that leak. So for those of you thinking, yeah, you know what, there's been some times where Brian, it doesn't surprise me that his brain's full of air. well, here it is now. You're not all that far off from the truth. If you're thinking, yeah, well, you were absolutely right. If you look in one ear, you can see through to the other side. So that's what the doctors came back with yesterday, and why they're like, oh, yeah, let's get you in here and get you spackled up, bondoed up, some dirt, whatever they're going to take to pack back in there. That's what we're going to be working on here coming up right after Easter on the 23rd. All right, this is what I was going to talk about. I'm going to miss the amnesia. Well, I have to tell you, if they fix this hole, if they fix this leak, this, right, bubbling crude, right, if they fix this, I'm going to miss a little bit of it, because sometimes it's been a great alibi for me. You know, the people go, did you just say that? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Did you just do that? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. So I'm going to kind of miss the built-in alibi going, yeah, I got air for brains. What do you want from me? Right? Where most people have gray matter, I have oxygen. What do you want? So I'm going to miss a little bit of that. All right, in recapping this morning's Lowlifes making headlines for everyone joining us a little after the 7 o'clock hour, the Lowlifes making headlines is basically my belief that anyone's attacking Joe Biden because he kissed someone on the top of the head or kissed someone on the top of the forehead. I don't want to live in a society where people don't hug each other. I don't want to live in a society where people aren't, right, just into each other. And this whole anti-human hysteria, you know, this whole, everything's like a selfie. You get a picture taken with another person. And I think I've thought this for years now. If your sense of self is so put together, your sense of self, that you hold a picture, and because you're standing next to somebody that everybody's supposed to know, and you get a picture, and you think that gives you street cred, that you think that 5 seconds where you know the person's going, oh, I got to take another one of these selfies. I don't even know this person. The first one I saw was with Tony Robbins, who's like 8 feet tall, and another guy like 4 feet tall. And I'm thinking, you're going to put, really? That's the picture you're going to put out there? So is that the culture we want to live in? So this morning's Lowlifes making headlines are those people, as I said, all kinds of reasons to not vote for Joe for president, crazy Uncle Joe, but if it's because he's nurturing and caring and in an old school way said, hey, I don't get it. And for all the Me Too people screaming about being sexually assaulted, I've got an idea. Why don't you shut your mouth unless you've been sexually assaulted? If you've been sexually assaulted, then I'm interested in hearing. But if you haven't been, if someone's kissed you on the head, if someone's brushed up against you, touched you on the shoulder, you haven't been sexually assaulted. Get a hold of yourself, would you? You got a human mind, not a gerbil brain. All right, so that was this morning's Lowlife making headlines. Feel free to fill in anyone that you like. And I know you're thinking, I didn't tune in to hear you defend Joe Biden. Fair enough. You probably didn't tune in to hear me be pro-Joe. But either way, I'm going to be pro-humanity. I'm going to be pro-all-natural being. None of us wouldn't be here without a little bit of human hugging somewhere in our family tree. Absolutely zero of it. I'd be doing this show, right? I'd be like, what was it, Charleston Heston? Was the Omega Man, or Will Smith was the last human in the world or whatever. I'd be that guy, right? Because if it weren't for hugging, none of us would be here. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Don't forget, check us out, if you would, over on Facebook.com. It's Brian Brawdy Official if you don't follow us right here where the show's broadcast live. And feel free, especially if you're in the Me Too movement and I've triggered you, I've offended you, I've culturally appropriated you, I've any of the laundry list of evils that I could have done, please let me have it over on Twitter. Right, I'm looking forward to it. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Don't forget, in all of your endeavors, to bring your own bold and mortal up. Have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
That's right. This just in, top of the morning, BB. Well, Jamie, thank you very much. Top of the morning to you as well. And Kathy, have a great day right back at you. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember, make it an absolutely fantastic day.
IPMNation.com.